My name's Andi. Hi. And before I get started, I would just like to thank Martha and Richard for putting this together. So if we could, just give them a round of applause because it takes a lot to pull this off. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be heard. I really appreciate it. Tonight I'm reading 4 poems from my new book that's coming out in June 2016, this year. So June 2016. Tiny Horses Don't Get a Choice, that's the name of the book. And my writing deals with Appalachian identity and family. I also have aspects of teaching in there, and these are the poems I'm going to read tonight are the ones that deal with teaching. But if you're looking for a contemporary writer that has an Appalachian focus in your classes in the next semester or so, check it out. June 2016, again this year. Tiny Horses Don't Get a Choice will be available. It'll first go up on Lulu, which is a small independent publishing, or a small publishing company. It's not independent. And then later it goes to larger retailers like Barnes & Noble and Amazon and things like that. So it will be available. It's got its very own ISBN number, and I'm so excited. It's my first one. So a little bit of shameless self-promotion. I'm a starving artist, so there's really no room for dignity here. All right. So the first poem I'm going to read is called Folding Paper, and again, all of these poems that I'm reading tonight are part of that collection, that larger collection. So, Folding Paper. In a small farmhouse outside Paris, a man sits at his kitchen table, folding human faces. He creases a square on its diagonal plane. This is the beginning of a nose. We are all born through folding, he thinks. He dents eyelids with his thumbnail. This face will be sleeping. He moves slowly and sips coffee between folds. At an elementary school in Israel, a woman teaches geometry through paper bluebirds. There is no cutting, no tape, and no glue. An alligator is built using 1 6-foot square, and the Eastern dragon has 1,000 scales. This is not additive or subtractive. It's only changing the memory of paper. A boy genius discovers unfolding protein cures disease. He sits alone in his office at MIT, pleating concentric squares. This next poem is called Gravitas. Only because I'm looking, I notice her, standing in the doorway, small, polite, hair pulled back. She waits for the conversation to end, like we're important, then asks for the Office of Admissions and Records. So I walk her through the basement, behind double doors marked electrician only. Air conditioners hum. Students tapping in the computer labs. Cut, paste, backspace, delete. The squeak of our shoes echo on fresh paint. She asks, what do you teach? Some come with purple hair and shoestrings to match. She's surprised. I want to tell her it's healthy to cause a little disruption because that's what someone told me once. Instead, I buy Skittles from the vending machine, but nothing comes out. Again, she stands in my doorway, this time hair unpinned and wild like 70s soul. She's projecting height. Invisible inches like the smallest bean sprout germinating on a cafeteria napkin. Her first writing award sits in her back pocket, folded in quarters. The girl, hair pinned to straighten, shrinking under her backpack in my doorway, waiting for the conversation to end. She asks if I remember. I'm an adjunct, and these next 2 poems are pissed off poems. This is called Education Obituary, and it's modeled after Pedro Petrie's Puerto Rican obituary, so it mimics some of the rhythms. Education Obituary. They taught, they were always enthusiastic, despite 14-hour workdays, scarlet letter emails, shaming them for not submitting grades 2 days before deadline. They worked 7 days a week, only snacked between conferences, never scheduled a lunch break, never said no to students asking for recommendations, even when not on payroll. Theorist, scholar, writer, philosopher, education died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow. Masons laid pavers on the Alumni Center walkway, used for administrative purposes only, to commemorate purchase 4x8 bricks engraved, a hassle-free $1,000 fee, to have administrators walk all over your name. Offer good through today, alumni, discount available. Theorist, scholar, writer, philosopher. They too died owing. They too died broke. 401k dreams danced like something out of science fiction in their heads. They too died never knowing. what the forms to open a savings account look like at the First National Bank. Education died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow. Theorist, scholar, writer, philosopher, they died passing collection calls and second final notices onto cosigners and guardians with fixed incomes, because the ivory tower considers a part-time drive-through register at McDonald's gainful employment. Like a circus sideshow, hear the adjuncts say, "Would you like fries with that? Could you speak directly into the clown, please?" Itchy eyes and dry, they mixed the Thin Mint blizzards at 2 a.m. because midnight shifts were the only way to make ends meet. Even Girl Scout cookies suffered inflation. They died waiting for neoliberalism to die, administrative bloats to thin, so the paradise would reopen under new management, provide free parking and partial benefits, a promotion to pay next year's rent. Theorist, scholar, writer, philosopher, education died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow. They died waiting for pay raises promised by administrative ghosts. They died waiting for the meeting to discuss the meeting to improve conditions that the assistant to the assistant to the assistant dean's assistant said she'd clear. They died like cafe lattes die in campus quads at 9 o'clock in the morning, everyone sipping, pinky out in Anglophile fashion, isolation tweed and faux imported. They died knowing they are temporary, replaceable. They died never arguing their worth. Here lies the theorist, here lies the scholar, here lies the writer, here lies the philosopher, here lies education, died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow. They too died always broke, they too died always owing, never knowing. Visions of repurposed broom handles attached to glitter protest signs, slogans that read, "Adjuncts are not junk, we are the new faculty majority." But these are only dreams. If only they'd taken lattes together, spoke honestly about rent and loan bills they struggled to pay. If only they returned to their roots, biographies of their mentors, remembered to practice that thing they preach. If only they'd uncapped their red pens, shut down empty buzzwords and meaningless jargon. If only they'd used these academic policies as tissue fodder. Education died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow. Theorist, scholar, writer, philosopher will right now be teaching their classes where there are opportunities for advancements. Everyone has a stable contract. No one needs to take a second or third job to make ends meet. Here, research grants are always approved. Here, institutions pay for limitless conference travel. Here, tenure is not a myth for an entire generation. Here, professor means more than a pay grade. Knowledge is a sacred buffet where they dine family style, sampling Lost Folios and vintage classics. This last poem is called Redneck Regime. A university president knots his bow tie one tail at a time, preparing for his PBS interview. Institutions had an idea to adopt a laissez-faire approach. He'll say, privatizing parking increases profit margins. Tuition hikes provide opportunities for synergy. He'll lace his fingers together for dramatic emphasis, as if talking points do not require context. Which side are you on, boys? He'll say, which side are you on? The football team is now a brand. Whispers of revolution won't be placated. Sedition dispenses like candy-coated peanuts out of a rest stop vending machine. Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on? At night, contingent faculty meet over Cards Against Humanity. They talk about the nets around Foxconn and Shenzhen, April dew collecting on white threads, a pillow of mesh, circling buildings like planetary rings, viewed through a blurry photo lens. Here, there are no muted ghosts. Here, voices have gravity. They wonder, what would those nets look like surrounding ivory towers? Where does education come from? It is handmade, stitched together with 2 hands, 10 fingers, all working in unison, fastening ethics to assignments, providing safe places to explore identity, even under impossible deadlines, even when markers are all dried up, even when the chalk is gone. Pens out of ink. They pore over student essays 14 hours a day, gladly, because there is beauty in argument. Just like their families taught them, red neckerchiefs cinched on belt loops or folded and wrapped around wrists like bangle bracelets, dangle reaching for question cards, a reminder, they are human. Packed down like miniature Shetlands, revisions hanging over their shoulders in patched canvas messenger bags. Tomorrow they'll have adjunct added to the dictionary, because tiny horses don't get a choice. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Thank you.